Good morning, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another NerdTube Dragon Ball discussion. I am Cousin Cheeto. I am joined by my fellow Z Fighter, Major Rage. How you doing?
Doing great. Excited to talk about Ultra Instinct.
Yes. So, as Mage said, we are here to talk about Ultra Instinct, and Chapter 85 of the Dragon Ball Super manga came out. Now, I'm not going to talk really about Dragon Ball manga spoilers or anything like that, just because we don't really do that here yet. We're still kind of taking our baby steps into Dragon Ball, but this is something that has bugged me since the inception of Ultra Instinct and the Tournament of Power. So, if you have been following from the anime Tournament of Power and the manga up through the Moro arc and the Granola arc, you're gonna know where I'm coming from with this. But my big problem with Ultra Instinct is I feel like it should be a technique, not a form. So that's one of my biggest gripes with Ultra Instinct. I really feel like the fact that they turned it into a form instead of a technique just to sell toys. That's it. Like they're like, let's give Goku a different color hair and let's sell toys. Mage, you got any comments on that or?
They did manage to sell Kaioken toys, though. And
Yeah,
they put the different aura around him. Their interpretations of it where the hair is slightly different tint.
but
You could have sold Ultra Instinct merch with it being a technique, but I think that they have this conceptualization that we want new forms, we want transformations, hard, like defined transformation. I think that they think they're giving us what we want when we're the I don't want this meme.
yeah. I mean, I really feel like Ultra Instinct is, as I said, I like Ultra Instinct. I like the idea of it. It's something different. And they even say in the anime and I believe in the manga, it even says, Whis does say that it is a technique at some points, the Ultra Instinct technique, but it's still a form. And it's just like, they keep on saying now that it's a form and they're trying to push this form. It's like, my original when Ultra Instinct first started coming out, I thought it was really cool because what it would be is a technique, and the telltale of that technique would be the silver eyes. So he would be in like Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan Red, base form, even obviously with the silver eyes, and that would be the Ultra Instinct of the um, of the self movement, autonomous. Well, I think in the dub it's called autonomous ultra instinct, or
Mm-hmm.
Nagate Gokui, I think is the Japanese form. I probably said it wrong,
Um,
um but yeah, like I just don't understand why they keep on pushing this form. Maybe they're trying to make it like a like the silver hair, trying to indicate that it's like an angelic form, because obviously Whis has the white hair. Now Goku has like the silver white hair. But and I mean, even Whis has said in the manga, and no, not in the anime, maybe in the anime, but it definitely in the manga, he has said that Whis is always using Ultra Instinct. That is their constant state, is Ultra Instinct. So in some of the recent chapters of the manga, we've seen Goku applying the Ultra Instinct within other forms, like Blue and Red and Super Saiyan in the manga, and it's like, why is this not a technique? Like, I mean, we you mentioned Kaioken earlier. Kaioken was in this is, I know, filler, but in the other world tournament arc, Goku put Kaioken on top of Super Saiyan. Now, granted, that's filler. Some people don't agree with it. Okay, fair enough. But then we fast
but
forward to Dragon Ball Super, and we get Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken.
mhm.
So it's like, why is it so hard to imagine that Super Saiyan Blue Ultra Instinct, or Ultra Instinct Super Saiyan Blue, with the blue hair, silver eyes, and everything like that? Like, I always just thought it was so weird. You go ahead, Mage. You got something to add on there?
The concept of a technique and a transformation stacking and happening at the same time is plausible. Two transformations simultaneously seems hard to swallow. If it's a transformation, it's a state. of being somehow, however the mechanics of it work in universe, you have forced yourself physiologically to be different. Uh, Having two transformations going at the same time, or two forms, it seems silly. I'm probably nitpicking, but it's irksome to me.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. I'm nitpicking it, but this has always bugged me since at the end of the Tournament of Power in the anime and in the manga, they called it the Ultra Instinct form, and it's just like, why? Like, I don't want more transformations. We haven't talked very much about the superhero movie here on the channel, but I mean, in there we've got other forms that we're not going to spoil, but there are other new forms in that movie, and it's like, I don't want new forms. I kind of want, new techniques and new strengthening and other ways. I mean, that's the answer is like, oh, this person's powerful. Well, I guess I'll just get a new form. Like the ultra instinct technique or the ultra instinct form just seems like it's a bit overkill, and it's honestly becoming kind of nerfed in the manga because of all the different caveats they're putting on it every single month. And I don't know. It's almost like it is almost kind of like Kaioken, because it's like, after a while, it's like Kaioken times 3, Kaioken times 5, Kaioken times 10, times 20. And it's just like, eventually, it's just like with all these different variants of Ultra Instinct, it's like, this really should be a technique. Like
Yeah,
I don't understand what their mindset is. And as I said, I think it's just so they could put a new skin of paint on Goku's hair and sell more toys, in my opinion. But I don't know. It's really weird and odd that they keep on going down this angle, and it's just getting more and more convoluted as time goes along. And that's why it kind of makes me upset. As I said, I kind of wish it was like a technique where it's like he could be in any form he wanted to be, but the silver eyes would indicate, like all of a sudden they'd zoom in on his face, and then his eyes would go silver, and then all of a sudden, he would start kicking ass. Um, so, and every I think the thing we don't talk about enough is that every form, like every Dragon Ball like Saiyan form, has different functions. Like Super Saiyan is more of a rage form. The God form is more, and I'm trying to remember what this one is. Is just more of like a not angelic form, but more
it's
of,
it's efficient.
yeah, it's
It's a
very energy and key efficient.
it's a little tight, efficient form where it just seems fluid.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's a great way to explain it. So that's like Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue and all, like that's what those ones are for. But, and I'm not going to spoil anything for this recent manga, but actually that makes a lot of sense, because it's just like, to be in the Ultra Instinct form, or to, you need to be tranquil and clear. And so, Goku has to basically forego, in order to, I'm trying to tiptoe around spoilers here, but he kind of has to forego that clearness in order to, but he's still utilizing UI in a fashion. So he downgrades, and it's just like, how is this not a technique? And that's kind of, my whole point on the matter.
If you
Um,
can alter it and have different stances and different focuses of the form, as it were, how is it not a technique and not a
yeah,
transformation? I mean, the different names, sign and omen, and these are reminiscent of stances like a technique uh, in martial arts. And it was exciting for me, the thought of them getting back to like the roots of the OG series, where a lot of the focus was on martial arts technique
hmm
and prowess and precision. Uh, the Moro arc brought back in a lot of the supernatural and magical elements to it. Uh, you know, Not to get tangenty, but a lot of focus on techniques with the Yardratian spirit control. Uh, so I feel like they're missing a golden opportunity to try to, where they can tie Super back into the roots of the series with focusing on Ultra Instinct being a technique and not a transformation in and of itself.
I 100% agree, Mage. You are so much better at this than I am. You have the ultra instinct of speaking like speaking like through like theories. I don't know. Um, but that goes back to the other thing. Like I always, and this is my own like wishing here. I always kind of wish that Ultra Instinct made Goku blind. Like not made him blind permanently, but like while he's using it, because he has to like use a mastery of self movement. So like his
Mm-hmm.
eyes silver up and they go blind, and
Right.
then
That goes back to the OG series, Mr. Popo training him on the
Mhm,
lookout to not use his eyes to track people through sounds and feeling their key
mhm,
and stuff like that. That would be, and it would be reminiscent of, a blind swordsman or the Biwa Hoshi blind musician kind of monk archetype from a lot of Japanese storytelling in the medieval period. And that would be a very cool touch. And yeah, I've never thought about it along those lines, but that would be really cool angle on it.
mhm. And I mean, it would kind of it gives a variation to a technique. Like it's not just like okay, so in Kaioken, his muscles bulge out, but there's also a small drawback. Like
Mm-hmm.
like
You can overdo it
mhm,
and then it debilitates you. Uh, but in your conceptualization of Ultra Instinct, he would give up physical sight for this autonomous movement and automatic dodging and all that. That's a really cool caveat.
mhm. So I don't know. I mean, it's always like these things with Dragon Ball sometimes just amaze me that they don't like Toriyama is a discovery writer too, and I know he's not technically writing this, but but what's the oh god, see now I'm failing. Toyotaro is now he's kind of pulling the Toriyama of it. He's basically like I'm kind of discovery writing. I honestly feel like more of Toyotaro's original stuff was actually he was looking forward like he was looking forward a lot in a lot of his stuff. But as
Mm-hmm.
time goes on, he's more doing the whole discovery writing thing like Toriyama did. And that's one of the things that I did not like about Toriyama. Just about him being like a discovery writer. I like Dragon Ball, don't get me wrong, but it definitely has its issues and the whole discovery writing thing. But that's where it goes back. It's like, okay, they wanted to push this whole new form and they're making it awesome, but at the same time it's like now we're like getting into this point where it's like okay, Goku's got this perfect technique, where do we go from here?
They
And now all
keep
they're doing is merging that technique into other form, or I'm sorry, that form into other forms, and it's just it's it's a
it's
bit convoluted
muddled.
in my opinion.
It's muddled
Hmm.
and it's too caught up in the present and not forward thinking anymore. You hit the nail on the head that time.
Yeah.
So I can't top that phrasing.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, Ultra Instinct's pretty cool. I like the idea of it being a technique. I really wish they would have foregone the form part. I really, honestly, Ultra Instinct Omen or Sign, whatever you want to call it, I really thought was cool on its own. To me, he didn't need the silver hair. I really like the concept of, as I said, the silver eyes being the indication of Ultra Instinct, and his hair was just his hair. Like and the aura was kind of like that fluidic aura. So that I really thought that would have been like how Kaioken was so aggressive and like
Mm-hmm.
big red, you know flamboyant,
It's
bulging,
angry aura,
angry, yeah, aura. And it's just like, but Ultra Instinct is like this just fluid and calming
calming,
technique.
and blue is a color traditionally associated with calm.
Hmm.
And
So
psychologically speaking, it works on us in that manner.
yeah. So I don't know. Mage, do you have anything else to add or anything to kind of tag on the end here?
No, I think we hit all the high notes here. I mean, I think Toei thinks that we want forms and transformations. I think that based on the way games and merch has sold in the past, they've gotten this expectation of that's what we want. And when we consume new Dragon Ball just because we want more new Dragon Ball, period, it feeds that expectation and of theirs. So I think we're stuck in a cycle that's unbreakable.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, the arguments now are going on, going back to the forums. Now the arguments are going on about, you know, who. I mean, okay, so we're getting a little bit, quote unquote, in the spoiler territory of superhero. So if you haven't seen it, or if you're waiting for the American release, plug your ears or whatever. But now
Pause
we got
it and hit us in the comments and get mad
yeah.
that we're spoiling it.
Well, we're not. I mean, but still, now the argument is going on with the forums. Is like, okay, now we have the arguments that Piccolo and Gohan are now more powerful than Goku and Vegeta because of Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 and something Piccolo said in the sub, and Gohan beat this certain main character, this main villain at the end, and that person was supposed to be more powerful. There couldn't Goku and Vegeta couldn't have beat him, and it's like, where did I don't mind Gohan getting a new form. I don't uh, but at this it goes back to these forms. It's like, well, like why? Like what is I get it. Like what is the point? They're trying to hit those nostalgia beats, but with these forms, and it's just like there's no at least with
What
well, at least with the Super Saiyan, and even Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan God Blue or Super Saiyan Blue, there was build up to those, and even in Super Saiyan 2, kind of like there was build up, like there was talk of a Super Saiyan and everything, and in the Namek arc and everything, and yeah, is he a Super Saiyan?
or
Oh.
Vegeta claiming he hit it, the 20 times, and just that build up made it actually have a payoff
Hmm.
when it finally happened, and it makes it feel like an earned power up
Yeah.
when there's gravitas and a build up to it, and yeah, yeah, it didn't feel earned in superhero, and that's all I'll say about superhero for
Well, and
now.
honestly, I mean, that's what I'm talking about here. Also with Ultra Instinct, it's like they're
It's gifted. It doesn't feel earned. It
yeah,
comes out of nowhere without any build up, and it feels like
it's
it's a Naruto style power up for you to beat the current big bad.
yeah, it's like it's a catch-all. It's a catch-all form. It's like, oh, we can't beat this person. Well, I'm gonna pull this little nugget out of this form so that I can, so this is the Hermione's bag of forms, because Goku just pulls stuff out of this form in order to beat whatever. Um, but and like Gohan was Super Saiyan 2. Technically, originally that was not supposed to be Super Saiyan 2. That was supposed to be something original to Gohan. It was like this Super Saiyan rage that Gohan, had been building up since he was young. That felt earned because we had seen Gohan throughout the years in that rage, and even Goku alluded to it in the hyperbolic time chamber, or chamber of spirit and time. And also uh and then Super Saiyan 3 is Super Saiyan 3, but then looking at Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue more so, because I feel like they got God in the movies and in the um they got God in the movies and in the show, and that was, I felt like it was a little bit of poor buildup, but they gave it enough gravitas that it felt okay, and like, oh, maybe they'll never get this again. I felt like Super Saiyan Blue was more earned than that, though, because they were training to harness that God Key that entire, while they were on Beerus's world, training with Whis, everything like that. There was build up to Super Saiyan Blue. Now, now them just showing up and going Super Saiyan Blue in the Resurrection F arc was a bit underwhelming, because they were just like, oh yeah, we got this form.
It's the
That was a
one
bit
thing.
underwhelming, but it did feel earned. Go ahead.
That's the one thing that the anime arc did better than the movie was sell the training and build up to Blue.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Other
Resurrection
than
Arc had a
that,
lot of issues, but
other than other than that, they could have done without the movie rehashes altogether and just spent their time making us polished product to start with a new arc.
yeah, I agree. Um, but yeah, so I mean, these things with forms, it's just like we keep pulling forms, and that's what I really appreciate about the Moro arc was they went down the technique road with Vegeta and kind of Goku. I mean, I know Goku was learning Ultra Instinct or mastered Ultra Instinct at that point, you know, but it's especially with Vegeta, he was learning new techniques. He wasn't learning, even Moro says when he goes to fight him again, he's like, this is the same form you fought me with before. How do you feel like you're going to beat me? And then that's when all of a sudden the techniques came into play. And it's just like they're giving us all these new forms to sell toys. I mean, there's going to be new form toys from the movie forever and always. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that some of these people didn't deserve new forms, but at the same time, it's like, eh,
I'd much more rather have a new figurine that is using a technique and and has that built into what's the selling point. You know, people are just as attached to techniques as they are to forms, and it can be just as valid a selling point.
well, and also they're like the Kaioken, it's short term, like
Mm-hmm.
you can't, you do feel a sense of urgency with the technique rather than a form, because it's like with, let's say we Ultra Instinct's a form, let's say, or a technique. It's like Kaioken. It's not going to last forever. I mean, maybe you can use it for an extended period, but there are consequences usually to using that. Like, I mean, like the Kamehameha. The Kamehameha is a technique. When you use the Kamehameha for too long, like Gohan versus Cell,
You
Gohan, you get fatigued. Granted,
Exactly. There's
yeah.
always a give and a take
Hmm.
with a technique, and that feels more natural than just giving a transformation a ticking clock for an arbitrary reason, whether it be the duration of the fusion dance or just it depletes your energy like Super Saiyan 3 or Golden Frieza, whatnot.
Or Super Saiyan Blue also had that problem.
Initially, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know. Okay. Well, anyway, um, great discussion, Mage. Thank you very much for joining me. Anyone out there, please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Leave all of your theories and comments down below. Please give a like and consider subscribing to NerdTube. We are the greatest YouTube channel you kind of maybe sort of heard of. Mage, again, thank you very much for joining me, and we will
Always
catch
a
you guys
pleasure.
in the next one. Catch you later.